opposition is what we are talking today on the program. If democracy is meant to offer choices, what happens when the choices are muddled, divided, or non existent? In Nigeria today, political opposition parties, once heralded as the vanguard of accountability, now find themselves in turmoil. Internal conflicts and endless defections paint a picture of disarray. But beneath the chaos lies an urgent question. What would it take to forge a viable united opposition? One that doesn't just react to vitriol, but actively leads the path for a change. Today we have a political affairs analyst in the studios, Mr. Izuagbe Ibrahim. He is also a development sociologist. Good morning to you, sir. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me, and good morning, Nigerians.
Okay, well, we will be looking at the issues, how we can build a viable opposition, exploring not only the roots of the current disarray, but to discuss practical and actionable steps towards building an opposition that resonates with the hopes and dreams of the Nigerian people. But let's dive into deeper and critical conversation. So, the first question I'll ask is one I asked in the morning. What do you think about the coalition? Do you think these men are the ones that will take us to the new Nigeria that we all seek?
Bendodo, I think, well, democracy, as it were, is a government in a political system where there is contest for power, and that contest for power presupposes divergent views, either based on ideologies, mainly based on ideology, and manifesto of political parties that are the real and immediate ingredients of any democracy. And I think 26 years on in Nigeria, we have not had it that too bad, except for the fact that our political parties are so nebulous in nature when it comes to the issue of ideology, to the extent that you cannot really decipher what Party A stands for as being distinct for Party B. Maybe because of our level of development, basic issues that are being canvassed are all around poverty, which is staring everybody in the face, underdevelopment, and so on and so forth. So you find that people come into politics promising the same thing over and over. There is no clear-cut distinction. And that is why you find that you can have a politician who is in Party A this morning, and by the time it's evening, he has switched to another party. And that has not really helped the opposition in this country. Take, for instance, in 2023, after the elections, we had a very robust opposition outing that saw PDP winning good seats in the National Assembly, both the Senate and the House of Reps. You had the Labour Party equally winning, making a very big inroad into our national policy, and of course, the NNPP. One had expected that the opposition were going to come together and be able to put the party in power, APC, on its toes. But as time goes by, we begin to see most of these members of the National Assembly, both the Senate and the House of Representatives, decamping from their parties and joining the ruling party. And one big question...
Well, they have premised that on the problems in their political parties.
Yeah, I think the Constitution states clearly on the condition under which anybody can decamp from one political party to the other. And Um, it has to do with the fact that if there must be a clear situation of division in the political party, and then of course, if there are no divisions, it is expected that such a person who is decamping is supposed to vacate his seat. I think the constitution is not very strong on that, and I want to urge us as Nigerians to begin to think how we can strengthen our democracy by ensuring that our political parties are strengthened in a manner that people do not just get mandate, get a ticket under a political platform, and when they get to office, they begin to vacate that office, negating all the promises they have made, negating whatever manifestos and ideology which their political parties stand for. That section that says that it has to do with there's only a condition under where somebody, the party is divided, or where there is a coalition of political parties, is damn too weak, because if the people have given you the mandate, they believed in the policies, manifestos, and agenda of the political party before they voted for you. So if for any reason you no longer believe in those ideologies, manifestos, agenda, or whatever which your political party canvassed, and you want to jump ship, want to decamp, then you decamp, and then INEC should declare that seat vacant and conduct a fresh election.
Okay.
For you now to go and test your popularity based on the new political platform which you now feel is the best for you to represent your people. Not taking the ticket under the PDP, for instance, which has a different manifesto from the APC.
It is surprising
Yes.
that the Supreme Court has ruled on that,
Mm.
but still, politicians have their way when it comes to this, and the law is not upheld. But that's a discussion for another day. Let's go back to the coalition. We see the likes of Atiku Abubakar. We see the likes of Amechi, former governor, 2 times governor, former minister. We see Aregbe Shola. We see El Rufai. We see Peter Obi coming together. Before now, the PDP has been in disarray, not being that formidable opposition that Nigerians wants to see, and also the Labour Party. Now, these people have come together to form into a party, the ADC. And now the question is, do you view this as a serious step towards reviving opposition strength, or just another alliance with without real political weight or structure?
Yeah, well, we should not forget the fact that in the build-up to 2015 elections, we saw a similar coalition of various political parties, although they were able to form a political party which was the APC ahead of the 2015 election. I understand that this same group of people who are now in ADC had made an attempt to equally register a political party, but because of the enormous number of applicants that are already on ground with INEC, there was a fear that there's a possibility that they might not be able to complete the process before the next election, and that is why they had to think fast and adopting a political party, an existing political party, as a platform. I must tell you, we cannot wish away these political juggernauts that have come together under the umbrella of the ADC. Don't forget, in the just concluded 2023 general election, presidential election for that matter, we had a Peter Obi who was a vice presidential candidate to Atiku in 2019, opting out of PDP to join the Labour Party, and was coming out for the first time as a presidential candidate, and he was able to garner over 6 million votes. That was in 2023. Then Atiku, who has been a master in the game all along, equally garnered 6 point something million votes. So just imagine if they had put their house in order ahead of that election and stood the same way they did in 2019, your guess is as good as mine at what would have happened in that election. But for the fact that they were divided, that was why the APC had its way and Bola Ahmed Tinubu was equally had his votes. I think 6 point something million too. So the difference wasn't that much. So coming home to the present coalition, I think the opposition really need to decide what exactly they want. Is it coming out as an opposition in the interest of Nigerians, or to fulfill personal and individual ambitions? And this is one major problem we have with our politicians in Nigerians. I must say, without sounding too immodest, that they are self-serving. You find a situation where a politician will go to any length to get his money, sell his property, do whatever he wants to do at all costs to get to an office. Not because of the interest of the people. Yeah.
A presidential aide has labeled this coalition unprincipled and opportunistic. Some people have called them disgruntled. How would you react to that? And do you think this criticism echoes with the public? And how can genuine opposition leaders overcome that narrative to say that we are not just coming here, just like you said, we are not coming here for our selfish reasons? Some people are saying they just want to be in power. They just want to grab power. They have no interest for Nigerians. How would you react to that?
Like I just said, I don't see any Nigerian politician different from the other. And in this game of politics, you should expect any form of language to be used against the opponents. It is one of those tools they use in the game. So whatever is coming out from the presidency or the presidential spokesman is not anything new. We heard all that when in 2013, 2014, build up to the 2015 election, where the coalition then were being seen as a straight bedfellows that were not going to, have a headway. And of course, at the end of the day, we saw what happened. So I don't think anybody should begin to look at this present coalition and take them for granted and thinking that they are not serious, they will not be able to do anything surmountable. But the most important thing is that if the coalition is to make a headway, everyone there should put their personal ambitions behind them and think of the national interest of the Nigerian people.
929. My guest is Mr. Iswag Ibrahim. He is a public affairs and political analyst and also a development sociologist. Thank you for being on the show.
My pleasure.
Once again. Okay, what are the clearest signs today that Nigeria's opposition parties are struggling?
Yeah, the most viable sign we have out there is that the major three political parties, go and check them, they are all in disarray. And one major problem we have with the system is that there is a lack of internal party democracy. And at the same time, the political parties are supposed to be funded by members of the parties. In other words, every card-carrying member is supposed to subscribe and make payments to support the management of the party. But here we find that some big wigs up there, money bags, are the ones who are sponsoring these political parties. And like the saying goes, he who pays the piper dictates the tune. So they will always want to have their way in whatever situation that the party find itself, and this has created a lot of problems within the parties, and as a result, even within the political parties themselves, there are a lot of opposition. And that is the major reason why you have now a situation whereby the coalition that is coming up is not really a coalition of political parties coming together, but individuals, leaders
Okay, let's take
within
this
the
call.
political parties. Yeah.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Bendodo.
Good morning, Mr. Emmanuel.
Good morning, the guests. Sorry, I've spoken well. There's nothing you can say more than that. My name is Emmanuel from my town. Then I want to just say a few words.
Please go
When
ahead.
you use the word we, how can we? Who are the we? Are we really we? That's the problem of Nigeria. Are we really we? When we talk, are we talking with one voice? Are we considering the economy of the common man together? Or we else, a few are thinking of what they will get for a particular regime and keep a man feel well and forgetting how ordinary voters. Sometimes when we go to vote, the people I look for and always thinking are the lame, the disabled that come about it, they hold their hand to come and vote. But at the end, we don't think about it. A common man is not interested who is in power, but how does he or she feel? How does he pay school fees? How does he buy fuel? How does he send his child to or pay rent? Until we leave the division, things that separate us, and do focus on the credible. The credible, I mean, the quality, the good quality, and not just because of tribe or whatever, we are divided. We won't get it right. Let me just conclude by using an example of this. Yesterday, I look at how you mentioned youth in the morning, how we think. That idol, Nigerian idol, imagine the best one we're going to have yesterday because people didn't vote, they were very politics. And we left, let me use the word, we left the second. That's the mindset of Nigeria. Until we think of the best, we will still be talking about tribal and digital religion and whatever. Have a wonderful day, God bless Nigeria.
Thank you very much, Mr. Emmanuel. Please go ahead, sir.
So you find that until political parties are able to adhere to internal party democracy, and of course ensure that they go by the constitution, which stipulates that political party members, card-carrying members, should pay subscription to the political party to form the party. We will continue to have this kind of problems whereby political bigwigs form political parties and they always want to have their way. And then you have oppositions within the political parties. So you find that unless political parties are able to hold their own, ensure that the political party as an institution should be prepared to be on ground to ensure that you go by strictly your constitution to ensure that whatever kind of infiltrations that tends to penetrate your political party, they won't be able to have their way. More so that we have that section of the constitution that gives way for political parties, that give way to members of a National Assembly to decamp once there's a division within their political party. So they should be prepared well ahead to know very well that there could be some such situations and how prepared are you to withstand them. I think the major problem we have in our polity is that there's no major difference between these political parties, and politicians from the word go, they are self-serving. They will always want to go to that political party where they know that they are going to have it juicy.
A chance to do that.
That is it. So that's the major problem that we have.
But a lot of people are asking, why do many opposition parties struggle to translate their campaign rhetoric into detailed, workable policy plans? And how much does this affect voters' trust and long-term engagement?
It's not different from what I have said before. Political parties we have in Nigeria, there's no clear-cut difference between them in terms of ideology. And based on the fact that Nigeria is underdeveloped, poverty is staring everybody in the face, most Nigerians at the end of the day, especially in the rural, even in the urban areas, they only look forward to the election year because they know politicians are going to come again with their money to give them bags of rice, salt, and the rest of it. This is what they look forward to. The electorates hardly look forward to how they can elect leaders to bring about that much needed change in their immediate environment. How they can get pipe-borne water, how they can get good roads, and so on and so forth. You can imagine a situation whereby in 2025, even within the FCT here, some Nigerians are still drinking water from the same pond with wild animals. It's quite a shame. We have seen the FCT minister doing a great lot of jobs, roads, and so on and so forth. I want to urge him to look into the area of water and sanitation within even the FCT. That is very much lacking. When you talk about...
In conclusion, how do we build a viral opposition?
Building a viral opposition is believing in yourselves, believing in what you do, and sticking to the constitution of your political parties, and ensure that you are able to endure over time, because democracy, political parties are always an ongoing process and will continue to evolve and develop. That is why you see in places like the UK, the Conservative will be in power for such a very long time, and before you know it, Labour Party comes in. I do hope we will get there someday.
Thank you, Mr. Izuaga Ibrahim, Public Affairs Analyst and Development Sociologist.
My pleasure.
Thank you for being on the show today. We'll leave you with this one by Kofi Annan. In a democracy, the opposition is not an enemy, but a necessary partner in the quest for good governance. May this resonate with our collective pursuit of a stronger, more accountable democracy in Nigeria. But this is where we'll leave it for today. Thanks to Eberichi Ndulewe Anyanwu and Godson Energy, supervised by Ruth Fasasi Bello. My name is Bendodo. Oche will join our network studios now for our next program. Stay right here.